What's up, guys? It's your boy, MSG Matthew Schaffer. How about it's your boy, Scoop? And we just want to let you know you're about to watch a video preview of Check My Bows. Nice little video preview, baby. South Park review. If you want to listen to the whole thing, what do they got to do? Got to download it. Every podcast outlet has it. So go there right now. Over 110 episodes, 111, 112 and counting. Check My Bows, a South Park review. Enjoy the video review. Fuck you, YouTube, and the copyrights. Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you, Joe.
All right, so Butt Out is the 13th episode of season 7 and the 109th episode overall, and it first aired on December the 3rd, 2003. Now, Scoop, you are going to go ahead. Why don't you go ahead and read us the synopsis first before we get started, and we'll watch a little bit of this episode.
All right, let's do this. So, after signing and dancing representatives...
Singing. After he couldn't even...
I couldn't even get through the first sentence.
Let's try
Ladies and gentlemen.
Shout out to you. Don't get Scoop.
After singing and dancing representatives from anti-smoking campaign rap about the dangers of smoking, the kids at South Park Elementary realize how cool it really is and take up the habit.
Yeah.
So that's when we find them outside smoking.
Well, not yet. Actually, first it starts off with the Butt Out. And that's how the episode's going to start. So this episode begins with the Butt Out team shows up, and Mr. Garrison and Mr. Mackey wanted to get the attention of the school. So we're going to go ahead and play a little bit of a clip here. If you were listening to the podcast, you'll be able to listen to the whole thing. You're watching this back on YouTube. You're not listening. You're not going to be able to see the whole thing. It might be like a still image. It might be something else. But you'll be able to hear it. So enjoy.
Okay, kids, can I have it quiet, please? Okay. Okay, quiet now. The assembly's about to start. Okay. Quiet. Okay. Okay. Now, kids, we have a really fun motivational group today who are going to talk to you about the dangers of smoking. Okay. So please give a very big South Park House welcome to Butt Out.
Oh, this is definitely... My co-hosts love me. Let me tell you.
Hey students, how we all feeling today?
Hey, did you guys know that each year over 600,000 people a year die from smoking? A year.
Wow.
600,000? Are you sure you're not just blowing smoke?
Blow smoke? Us? No way! Because we don't need to smoke.
Ouch,
Neither do
guys.
you, right, kids?
These are horrible.
Ow!
Yeah.
Break it down.
Did you guys ever have shit in elementary school like this?
We'll get there. Let's get there in a second. Let's struggle through this.
Smoking, no smoking.
Freestyle!
Burn it!
Don't smoke! Don't ever smoke!
Kyle!
B to the U to the T to the T to the O to the
Dude, this is unbearable. I'm going to kill myself.
to the T to the T to the E. Put out cigarette!
Randy! Smoking, no.
Randy,
it's got to
Kyle.
Go, you go, no, just say
It right?
Go, get it.
Pam!
You guys, Kenny's eating his own hand.
What's the big deal? I like smoking and it makes me cool!
Oh, really? Do you think lung cancer is cool too?
What about emphysema? Is that cool?
And what about abortion and AIDS?
That's none's the cool.
Word.
Yeah, so butt out!
Butt
out! Yeah, give that cigarette butt a throw!
Jesus Christ.
Smoking's got to go! Remember, kids, if you smoke, you could grow up to be a failure.
Worse yet, you could grow up to be dead.
So don't believe what those evil tobacco companies tell you.
Yeah, because if you don't smoke, you can grow up to be
Just like us!
Very next scene. Boys.
Oh, of course.
Give me another one.
So the boys standing out there not wanting to be anything like the butt out people or weirdos. I don't know. Those. Although, you know, it takes a weird person to do those too.
Yeah. I was always wondering how much you get paid for selling your soul like that.
Yeah, like you go to these schools and as soon as we walk out of the assembly, you're just gonna get roasted like nobody's ever been roasted before.
Right.
High school and middle schoolers can roast you beyond like they could just roast you to death because it's so.
Oh, kids are terrorists.
Yeah, they can just be like, find the most thing that you're like self-conscious about, and then they just attack it. And he's like, I don't have one opposite side. Your face is weird looking, right? Back off my ears, man.
Or like you're substituting and one of the 8th graders is taller than you. Hey, Sharon's taller than the substitute. Yeah, I'll still beat the fuck out of him. You can't say that.
You can't say that. So as you continued on there, as far as what happened with the boys before we play the clip.
They jumped outside and they just started smoking as much as they possibly could.
Right.
Getting red in the face. But unfortunately, they get caught by Mr. Mackey. Or, well, fortunately, maybe, because they probably would have smoked themselves sick.
Right. Yep.
They discard their
They kind of did.
I mean, yeah, that's true. my first cigarette made me sick.
Everybody.
I went home. Sick. I was green. My dad knew exactly what happened. He was like, what happened? And I'm just sitting over the toilet. No, I just don't feel very good.
It makes everybody sick.
Yeah. It wasn't fun. So they threw their still lit cigarettes into a nearby dumpster, which is always dangerous no matter what, which ignites and proceeds to burn the whole school down. Their parents all come into the burned down school when principal thinks, oh man, that's right. They knock on the door. They knock on the door and Principal Victoria tells the parents about them smoking.
Attention. This is Mr. Mackey. You're listening to the Suck My Balls podcast. Okay.
This is Eric Cutman from South Park, Colorado, and you're listening to Suck My Balls, a South Park review that's pretty good. Dude, this is really hard. Oh shit, here comes Mr. Mackey. Slowly. Dude, here he comes. Stop coughing.
Kyle looks all green. That's kind of how I look.
Boys, what are you doing back here? I asked you a question. What are you doing back here? Okay.
And they hold in a fat hit to ghost it.
What?
So true.
Gross, dude.
Well, hey, if I didn't know any better, I'd think you boys have been smoking.
Like, wouldn't you be able to smell it
Well,
though?
you better not, because let me tell you something about smoking.
Yeah, they definitely would be able to smell it.
Bad.
For sure.
And if you
And as he
start
mentioned there,
smoking at an early age,
now
okay,
the
it's gonna
hamster
be bad.
is burning in the backward.
Because smoking can lead to all kinds of
As
health
the kids
problems,
burn
cancer.
down the school. I like the animation here. It's pretty fun. Pretty good for 2004.
Okay.
They always used real fire, like real looking fire.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's
I
always
think
funny.
they did, yeah.
But it even looks better just how it's spread. It's pretty good. Okay, guys.
Mr. Slave? What the fuck?
Oh yeah, he's in the classroom. Garrison.
Oh, is that still going on?
Yeah, of course.
Well, you
Mhm.
boys have certainly done it this time.
We're
The-
sorry.
They
Not as sorry as
actually
you're
are
going to be when
in
your
the
parents get
office.
here. Ah, here they come now.
Oh, God.
Right, they come to the door. This is dumb. Like still knocking.
Come in.
That's what makes it
Stanley,
funny.
what did you do this time? You better brace yourselves, parents. The boys were caught smoking. Smoking? No, it can't be. My son is not a filthy smoker.
Mom, Dad, it was just...
I don't have a son.
I don't have a
Harry,
son.
You've done a lot of horrible things in your life, but smoking? You're grounded for 3
Smoking?
weeks.
You're
3
grounded for
weeks? Are
3
you
weeks.
kidding me?
Haven't
Hey,
you boys
fucking
heard
week,
anything
baby.
about how harmful smoking is to you and those around you?
Of course they haven't, because the tobacco companies have gotten to them first.
That's right.
This is really their fault.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, this is really
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
No matter how much money the anti-smoking group
No, that's
spend,
kind of surprising
the
for
tobacco
Kyle.
companies
Come
are
on,
there to
do
fill
something
our
like
children's heads with lies and
No.
Is it?
No.
I don't know. Is it surprising?
No, he's
Tal called in Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner Smoke Stoppers, and they wanted to combat it by what they do is they fight against smoking cigarettes by coming up with different PSA campaigns. And as Scoop alluded there, he's obese, fat, can barely breathe,
He's a big dude.
and he eats lots of junk food, right?
Butter. Doesn't he eat butter by the just the butter.
Right. And the irony is he's going to be talking about how bad smoking is as he's cramming food into his mouth.
Into his mouth.
What do you think? What does Cartman think about him?
He loves him.
Cartman loves him.
You take away, he will have a little bit of happiness, and you take that away from them.
He just goes around imposing his will on other people
and taking their little bit of happiness away.
Right. He says he's his idol.
Idol.
He said, now, so of course, the rest of the boys they're not very happy. Now, we kind of gloss over this too. Kyle does bring up the fact that this is a classic pattern of South Park. Like they could just acknowledge the fact that they fucked up and get grounded and get this over with.
Mm-hmm.
But instead, he knows that they're going to end up in a situation where I learned something here today and the town's going to be fighting. So he's trying his best throughout this whole episode to get out of it, but unfortunately, he's going to continue to get sucked back in. So let's jump back into the episode here.
I lobbied to get images of cigarettes removed from movies and art. I forced smokers out of bars and parks, but still I get letters from parents saying their kids are doing it. Apparently, people still don't understand how bad smoking is for them. Don't they know how dangerous it is to their health? Don't they know how bad smoke? But according to the letter, sir, the town has a tobacco company quite near them. Yeah, that must be it. The tobacco companies with their millions of dollars and their slick desks and fancy buildings, they're the ones making children want to smoke.
He's sitting in a high rise in LA.
They're the ones hurting our nation's health. I will not stand by and see the children of America corrupted by those bastards.
All right, so now Rob Reiner has finally arrived.
Give him Reiner.
Maybe we should come clean right now and tell everyone that it wasn't the
Here's
tobacco
Kyle's
companies
point.
that made us want to smoke. What? Why? It's perfect. If everyone's blaming the tobacco companies, then nobody's blaming us. Yeah, what's the problem? Well, it's just that this seems like another one of those times when things are going to get way out of hand, you know? It's been happening a lot lately. How about this time we just put a stop to it right now? Dumbass, you don't want to be grounded for 3 weeks, do you? Yeah, don't worry, dude. Things aren't going to get out of hand.
Here he comes!
Here we go! Rob Reiner, Smoke Stoppers!
Here's the best part.
Damn it!
Damn it!
Butter! 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 What'd he say? Butter!
He's glossing himself up with butter. He's glossing himself up with butter. He gets out of the car and that gut sticks out. All right, so we don't need to listen to the whole entire Rob Reiner speech again because Scoop pretty much gave what it was. But here's a couple snippets of it.
Hello, South Park! It is so nice to see an entire town come together to fight for good health. And I'm going to help you.
Again, the irony of that being that he's like panting and can barely breathe. And
How you get it? Now, the closest that I've come to eating any type of raw butter is tasting garlic butter that I'm making. I've never just taken a chunk of butter and just, or like fried butter.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I've never done that. Joe, have you ever eaten raw butter?
Not raw butter, no.
Just by itself, just taking a chunk, just taking a bite.
So here's what let me kind of, because we didn't write all this down here on the synopsis stuff, but here's what's going to happen here. So eventually now the boys are trying to team up with Rob Reiner. Rob Reiner decides we need to make a commercial, right?
Mm-hmm.
But before he does that, he's trying to come up with different ways to try and get a smoking ban passed in Colorado, a law, if you will. So Reiner's going to eventually disguise himself here and, go into the tobacco company. What's her name, Scoop?
Rita Poon.
Rita Poon. I muted Scoop there because he's hitting shit. Rita Poon, yes. So let's go to the clip here while Scoop composes himself.
All right, kids, here's what we're going to do. We're going to sneak you into the tobacco company by saying you kids want a tour for a school paper. Once you're inside, I'm going to take photos, and then we'll publish them saying that the tobacco company invited you over to seduce you into smoking. Got it?
Got it.
Get it.
But isn't that kind of lying?
We're just leveling out the playing field.
That
The
food's
tobacco
so
companies
good.
lie to you about the dangers of smoking. If we're going to take them down, we've got to lie right back.
It's smelling like chocolate or something. or smoking. Gets up, walks over.
Excuse me. Yes? Would you mind putting that dead stick out? But this is a bar. Isn't smoking illegal in bars here? Not in Colorado. Oh my God, what kind of backward hick state is this?
Can I help you?
Yes, my name is Rita Poon. I called about my boys wanting a tour.
Yes, Mrs. Poon. My name's Kevin Harris, and I'm the vice president of Big Tobacco.
Oh, hello, Mr. Harris.
Well, come on in.
This is
How about a little history first? Native Americans were the first to cultivate the tobacco plant. They smoked it in pipes for medicinal and ceremonial
That
purposes.
is true.
Now, if I were around, they wouldn't have.
Excuse me?
No, nothing. Please continue.
The first successful commercial crop of tobacco was cultivated in Virginia in 1612. Within 7 years, it was one of the country's largest exports.
So, tobacco helped to build America.
That's right. Over the next few centuries,
This
the
part
tobacco business was so great that many slaves were brought from Africa to
Not
help work the fields.
Which means if it weren't for tobacco, many of our black friends wouldn't be here today.
That's horrible.
And so for centuries, tobacco production flourished. Nobody was even aware of any dangers back then, until in 1965, when Congress passed an act forcing all tobacco companies to put the Surgeon General's warning on their packages.
That's true.
So now, everyone knows the dangers of smoking, and some people still choose to do it, and we believe that's what being an American is all
True.
about.
That sounds perfectly reasonable.
And here's our
Okay.
factory at work.
Before we get into the song, let's have a discussion on the context of that information there. So I think they made some good points, right? If America was founded largely on tobacco as a crop, the export and the import of it itself, as far as the goods itself, it definitely was used and is still used today by Native Americans in cultural ceremonies. There are people who like to smoke tobacco in a fashion in which it's not as addictive or habit forming. They're not smoking it every day, every hour. It might be every week, every month, or there's something like that. Maybe they're sitting down having a nice cigar or something like they're doing some hookah. So there's different forms of tobacco and how you can do it. However, the point about Cartman obviously saying this is how we got all our black friends. Well, it's unfortunately true. That sucks. Like that's how we got all of our black friends.
Yeah.
Was via slavery because of tobacco. So there is a negative attachment to that as well. But I mean, other than that, I mean, I'd say like the crux of the message though, you have the freedom of choice. I mean,
choose to smoke or not. Don't fuck with other people because they choose to smoke. I for one like to enjoy a cigar every now and then. Nice cigar. It's pretty nice. Tastes pretty good. Nice and chill. I don't care if you
I like to
smoke.
vape, as you can see on camera. So, and you probably heard me exhale there. So anyway, moving on there now. So, okay, now we're going to get into a really good song from South Park here. This is the Heidi, Heidi, A, Heidi, Heidi, O. So I'm not going to show the video because I don't want to edit this out. It'll just be too long. So I'm just going to hit play. I think you should just be able to hear this, Joe. Tell me if you can't.
With the highly lighty lighty, highly lighty lady. We work and we make cigarettes all highly lighty day. So folks can get a breaky from the stressful lighty lives and relaxing with the cigarettes we make all day and night. I like to have a cigarette every now and then. It makes me feel calmer when the day is at an end. And if it gives me cancer when I'm 80, I don't care. Who the hell wants to be 90 anyway? So with the highly lighty lighty and the highly lighty lady, we work and we make cigarettes all highly lighty day. So folks can get a breaky from the stressful lighty lives and relaxing with the cigarettes we make all day and night.
Well, I guess that's the end of our tour.
Oh, here, boys. Let me get your picture.
All right, so this part I'll bring back on screen because this part's funny. He's gonna like flip out here. So Rob Reiner, as we mentioned, takes the picture now of the boys, and what the point of taking the picture is so that way he can Photoshop shit in later for propaganda. So here's that part.
Got it! Ha! You bastards are going down now!
What?
I'm not Rita Poon. I'm Rob Reiner, and you've just been Reinered. Come on, boys, let's make our escape! Don't you try and stop us! Oh!
Oh my God!
Oh boy, that was great, kids!
Those people at the tobacco company all seem really nice.
Yeah, you see that? They got into your head. Now you kids can meet some good, decent people. The folks who work to get smoking banned.
We're evil. Look at them. They're all hissing and shit there.
Somebody's deal with this. All right, roll camera. Roll the teleprompter. And whenever you're ready, Eric.
Okay.
Okay.
You know, some people say there's no proof that secondhand smoke kills. The tobacco companies say there's no proof that secondhand smoke kills. I've just been diagnosed with terminal lung cancer. I guess I'm the proof. The next time you want to believe that secondhand smoke doesn't kill, think about me. Because by the time you see this commercial, I'll be dead. Dead?
Cut! Great! We got it!
Great. Carmen's gonna be like, wait, what? What is that last part mean, guys? What do you mean there? What does that last part mean? Excuse me, what's that last part mean?
Excuse me.
So yeah, these commercials, as I pointed out to Scoop Joe, because I've been recently going back and taking some acting classes, and I was like, one of the things that they pointed out to me is that I'm kind of like a cartoon character in real life. I'm very animated, right? But when you're acting, obviously, you don't want to have a lot of facial expressions. You actually want to let more of your voice and your diaphragm emote, right? Use the subtext of it itself, and then use those subtle facial expressions or body motions when you need to. Cartman here, Matt Stone and Trey Parker perfectly exemplified how Cartman got right into character. He went stone cold straight faced and he delivered his PSA. And I was just like, fucking A, Matt Stone and Trey Parker. Even in an animation style, like made it perfectly. That's perfectly how you would like shoot a PSA. And Cartman did it in one take. One fucking take, guys. One take. He's a pro. Am I wrong here, Joe?
No, not at all. He handled that like a champ. One taked it and everything.
Suck my balls. 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 Suck my balls.